Alright, so I'm recording this from my iPad. So it seems that my eyes are going this way. I don't know why. I'm going to try to set it up so it's more centered. But anyway. Okay. So, a long time ago, at the beginning of the year, one of the preachers in our church decided to do a in-depth sermon series on Psalm 23. And I wrote some great notes, and I figured I would share these notes with you guys here on live stream. Obviously, this is going to be recorded, so those of you that miss it can watch it. Now, this beloved psalm is used in a lot of funerals. And what is so neat about this psalm is that it is written and it shows God it's written from the sheep's perspective, which is quite interesting. And it's kind of an analogy. So it shows God as our own personal shepherd, for he cares for the sheep and provides every need. Now, we are helpless on our own, and we're dependent on God. So it is written from the view of the sheep, which is interesting. And he describes his shepherd. So in 1 Samuel 16:10 through 12, we see David as a shepherd. Now we all know that he was a shepherd boy. And he wrote most of these psalms, if not all of these psalms, as songs to God or poems to God. Okay, so I think it's 1 Samuel 16:10 through 12. So I'm just going to look that up real quick. I didn't bookmark it for some reason. I missed that particular. Anyway. Okay. 1 Samuel 16:10 through 12. 10 through 12. Yeah, okay. It says, Thus Jesse made 7 of his sons pass before Samuel. But Samuel said to Jesse, The Lord has not chosen these. And Samuel said to Jesse, Are these all the children? And he said, There remains yet the youngest. And behold, he is tending the sheep. Then Samuel said to Jesse, Send and bring him, for we will not sit down until he comes here. So he sent him, brought him in. Now he was ruddy, with beautiful eyes and a handsome appearance. And the Lord said, Arise, anoint him, for this is he. Then Samuel took the horn of the oil and anointed him in the midst of his brothers, and the Spirit of the Lord came mightily upon David from the day forward. So we see here that obviously David knows how to be shepherd. And so to write this psalm from a sheep's perspective is quite interesting. Now, Psalm 78, 70 through 72 says, He also chose David his servant, and took him from the sheepfolds, and from the care of the ewes with suckling lambs he brought him to the shepherd Jacob, his people, and Israel his inheritance. So he shepherded them according to the integrity of his heart and guided them with his skillful hands. So it shows us here that David was a shepherd, and he even shepherded the people, or he was the king, obviously. So he took care of people. So I'm going to read Psalm 23. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He makes me lie down in green pastures. He leads me beside quiet waters. He restores my soul and guides me in the paths of righteousness. For his name's sake, even though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I fear no evil, for thou art with me. Thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me. Thou dost prepare a table before me in the presence of my enemies. Thou hast anointed my head with oil, and my cup overflows. Surely goodness and loving kindness or mercy will follow me all the days of my life, and I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever. So there's something personal. He's saying God, and he calls him shepherd. It's very personal to him. He cares for me. He watches over me. He preserves me. They are all in present tense, if we notice. The Lord is. He makes. He leads. He restores. He guides. And he is in care of Jehovah. Now, many do not understand this psalm or understand what it means. So it appears to write later in, it appears he wrote it later in his life and writes it as a person who has a history with God. So in the next thing we're going to remember is that Jesus is our shepherd. It's defined in John 10, 11 through 18. Jesus said to his disciples, I am the good shepherd, lays down his life for his sheep. I am the good shepherd. The good shepherd lays down his life for the sheep. He who is a hireling and not a shepherd, who is not the owner of the sheep, beholds the wolf coming and leaves the sheep and flees, and the wolf snatches them and scatters them. He flees because he is a hireling and is not concerned about the sheep. I am the good shepherd, and I know my own, and my own know me. Even as the Father knows me, and I know the Father, that I lay down my life for the sheep. And I have the other sheep, which are not of this fold. I must bring them also, that they shall share the voice, and they shall become one flock with the shepherd. For this reason the Father loves me, because I lay down my life, that I may take it again. No one has taken it away from me, but I lay it down on my own initiative. I have authority to lay it down. I have the authority to take it up again. This commandment I received from my Father. He says in Psalm 23, verse 1, the Lord is my shepherd. I will not have need. I am means Yahweh and Jehovah Jesus. He is I am. He provides for us and protects us. And we need to trust him as my faithful shepherd. I hope you guys enjoyed that little note taking of this episode of The Great Shepherd, The Good Shepherd, Part 1, Verse 1. Until next time, you guys have a good night, and God bless you all. Bye.